St. Boniface wasn't the end of my Winnipeg tour, although it probably offered the best view of the city skyline anywhere. It was around noon. All of the restaurants around the St. Boniface neighborhood had already closed. I had no choice but to go back to the confluence of the Red River and the Cinnabon River, because there you'll find Winnipeg's largest public market, the Forks. You could tell it was more tailored towards tourists. Sorry, what tourists? Most of the people there on that day were locals. How did I know that? Because the staff who did contact tracing told me that I was the only person from outside of Manitoba. Yeah, I just had some lunch at the Fork Market. So after I ordered everything, the lady working at the stall told me that she really appreciated my business. I was wondering, like, why would she say that? And then somebody reminded me that starting tomorrow, the Winnipeg region will go into alert red. So that's the highest level for the pandemic response system. That means none of the restaurants or food courts will be open for business. So it's going to be takeout only, or pick up, or you have to shut down the whole business. That actually kind of explained why yesterday I didn't see a lot of kids doing Halloween. Maybe because that they are aware that the situation for the virus was getting more serious, so people just stay home for safety reasons. The Forks is a National Historic Site of Canada. Within its boundary, you'll find the Canadian Museum of Human Rights. During my last visit, the building wasn't even completed for construction yet, so I decided maybe it was finally my opportunity to visit it this time. So it's closed. How naive of me to think the place would be open, especially when none of the museums I visited so far was open due to the global event of 2020. On the other end of the Forks lies the Winnipeg Railway Station, a major hub for Canada's transportation industry. If Louis Riel helped with the creation of Manitoba, it was the railway that gave Winnipeg its prosperity. Once known as Chicago of the North, Winnipeg was a major business center and even the third largest city in the country after Montreal and Toronto until the 1920s. Winnipeg's most historic neighborhood, the Exchange District, is a great place to see what Winnipeg was like during its most prosperous time. To reach the Exchange District from the Forks, you'll go through the modern downtown Winnipeg. Once past Winnipeg's major intersection, Portage and Main, you'll find yourself standing right by the neighborhood. When I was in Winnipeg back in 2013, the neighborhood was a little spooky and shady. This year, it was spooky in a different way. There wasn't a single human being on the street. Well, there's absolutely nobody here. I think the reason is probably because this area is mostly an entertainment district, like nightclubs, bars. But due to the current situation, they're all closed. They will be forced to shut down starting tomorrow on Monday.
I've learned something from the mistakes I made. The closure information of tourist attractions was probably posted on their official websites. After checking the web, I confirmed that the Winnipeg Zoo at the Assiniboine Park was open on that day. Realizing that I only had a couple of hours, I hopped onto the next bus to the Cinnabon Park from downtown Winnipeg. It might be the last chance to see the zoo before the cold red restrictions kick in at midnight.
Yeah, going through a trail of head baths is kind of creepy.
To be honest, I didn't come all the way to the Assiniboine Park to see these head statues.
Hey folks, I'm now at the Cinnabon Park. So it's kind of in the outskirts of Winnipeg. It's a very big green space. As a zoo. Any of you have time visiting the city of Winnipeg, this is a great place. So there are two famous attractions about bears here at the Assiniboine Park. So number one, probably a lot of you already know, is the polar bear. So this zoo is kind of famous for viewing polar bears. Where the polar bears live, which is in Churchill, Manitoba. It's in the north of this province. And the second bear, some of you, a lot of you actually know, is Winnie the Pooh. So Winnie the Pooh, the story of Winnie the Pooh was inspired by a real life bear from the city of Winnipeg. There is a museum and there is a statue about this bear. So I'm going to these two attractions. Hopefully they're not closed.
First up, Winnie the Bear. A Canadian soldier who served the British Empire during World War I spent $20 on a cub whose mother was killed by a hunter in Ontario. He brought this bear to the battlefields of Europe. After the war, the bear, named Winnie after Winnipeg, stayed in London. This bear inspired the creation of Winnie the Pooh, the name Christopher Robin gave to his toy bear after the black bear he saw at the London Zoo. At the Assiniboine Park, there is a statue of Winnie and the soldier. I was on my way to see it.
If you ask me which bear I'm more looking forward to, of course the polar bears. I first came to this zoo back when I used to live in Manitoba. I can't wait to show you guys what they're like.
In the province of Manitoba, there is a special place in the north of the province called Churchill. It is more well known as the place you find polar bears in Canada. Many call it the polar bear capital of the world, as there are more polar bears in that area than the human population there. Unfortunately, that place is not connected by roads. There are only two ways to go there. By taking a 2.5-hour airplane ride, or by a legendary yet a little bit unbearable 40-hour-long train ride all the way up north from Winnipeg. Anyways, it's either too far or too complicated to go for ordinary tourists who only have a couple days in Winnipeg. However, the Kering Zoo and the Manitoba Tourism Board know about this. That's why they renovated the polar bear exhibition and have officially named it Journey to Churchill. They even put a fake train in there to mock the train journey to Churchill. Anyways, these pictures looked amazing. Because when I was there in 2013, this is literally what it looked like. Yeah, kinda depressing. Anyways, I had to first find a statue of Winnie the Pooh. Google Maps indicated that it was located right by the soon-to-be Winnie the Pooh Museum. However, after circling around for over 40 minutes, even to the super slippery places nearby, there was no sign of the statue. My phone battery was dying because of the cold temperature, so I couldn't look for it on the internet. Luckily, there were lots of local Winnipeggers enjoying the park before the lockdown kicks in at midnight.
What the hell? They actually moved the statue inside the playground, and the playground is closed due to the current situation. That means there's no way I can see it now. Now, I've wasted so much time on finding the statue. Let me see if I can still make it to the zoo.
When I arrived at the entrance to the zoo, I was 15 minutes too late. The zoo had not only closed, caution tapes that are normally meant for prolonged closure were also there. My intention of showing you Winnipeg Zoo's journey to Churchill became a total failure. As a dedicated YouTuber, you think I'll just leave you disappointed without seeing any polar bears for this season, knowing that Winnipeg would enter code red restrictions at midnight. Coming back to the zoo the next day would probably not be an option. That's why I made the decision that I would take a journey to the real Churchill itself. I happen to know a lot of people who still live in this province, and I know this will make a lot of the jobs under risk.